Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I am the Twisted Jedi, and in this video we are going to be going over all the latest updates for a bunch of hero changes that are coming to Battlefront 2 in the near future. Now, for those of you that don't know, Guillaume is the hero designer for Star Wars Battlefront 2 and is basically in charge of any decisions that come to changing heroes, nerfs, buffs, things like that, as well as designing the new heroes and working with them. And he has just tweeted out an absolute ton of information on characters like Anakin, Chewie, Boba, Yoda, and Darth Maul. So we do have a fair bit to cover, and I don't want this video to go for super long, so we're going to jump into it in just a second. But before I do, I want to give a shout out to my Discord. All the guys in here are awesome. If you guys want to hang out with me and chat with us outside of the streams, recommend video ideas and suggestions, and also just talk about anything Star Wars or general chat, you guys can join that in the link down below. It's a really awesome community of guys and girls in there, and we would love to have you join us in the server. Anyways, with that out of the way, I am going to jump straight in. The first thing is going to be the nerf coming to Anakin Skywalker. That's right, this is going to be the third time they are nerfing Anakin. Guillaume tweeted out there will be a few more nerfs for Anakin in the next patch. The first thing is going to be that Passionate Strike will no longer push down the enemy anymore. He has too many enemy disruption abilities. Now, for those of you that watch the streams regularly and listen to me in my videos, I've been preaching for this since Anakin came out. I do not think he should have 4 abilities that knock down an enemy, so removing this from Passionate Strike is going to be a great thing for game balance. Being able to knock down enemies with Passionate Strike, also with Pull Dominance, then again with Heroic Might, and even with Retribution, this is just too much, and it makes Anakin extremely hard to deal with, especially if you're playing a blaster hero and he manages to yank you towards him. You're going to be pretty much dead in one quick move, so the fact that Passionate Strike will no longer knock you to the ground gives you a little bit more of a chance of surviving. Not much, but a little bit. The second change coming to Anakin is going to be they will be reducing the range of Pull Dominance. They thought that 20 meters was too much, and it's simple as that. I completely agree. I think Pull Dominance, even the markings on the ground for the UI, it pretty much showed a lesser distance than you could actually be pulled from. So it was showing a shorter distance and it would pull from further away. If that makes sense to you guys, you probably know what I mean, but just in case you don't, it's kind of like the line stops at a certain point, which you'd think where Anakin can pull you from, but he can actually pull you a couple of meters past that. So it's just one of those things that needs to be changed, and I think lowering it down to less than 20 meters is a good option here. They're also currently looking at possibly reducing the Retribution range. This is also another change that I've recommended that could be a really good thing, because Retribution definitely pings everyone in the immediate area, and there's going to be no one on the outside looking in that isn't caught in that animation. So he gets the 90% damage reduction, so basically anyone on the outside that doesn't get caught in this can still shoot him, and it won't be ridiculously harmful to Anakin anyway. So if he does get Retribution and doesn't catch everyone in it, I still think he's going to have quite a good chance of surviving. So this sounds like a really balanced change to me as well. Moving on from Anakin though, we look at some changes to Yoda. Guillaume has said that Yoda will see a nerf of his presence on troopers and reinforcements, nerfing him a bit in GA. So basically what I can tell from this tweet is that presence will no longer buff troopers and reinforcements quite as much. Giving them the amount of health they currently have now is a little bit OP, especially when you're trying to push an objective and Yoda's just standing by the doorway buffing the entire team around him. Makes it extremely difficult to push through. So this change is definitely good as well. The next hero they're trying to improve is Chewbacca, and in GA they're trying to buff his charge slam on troopers, and they might have a look at his health if that doesn't feel like enough. Those of you that have played Chewie at all know that he's absolutely terrible in GA. His bowcaster isn't nearly dangerous enough in GA, and his charge slam is pretty much ineffective as a health on kill card, so hopefully they look to make this passive in the future. Moving on, Guillaume's next tweet said more changes are coming, like Yoda and Vader jump height, Vader and Maul not being able to be pushed during their chokes together, with Grievous's unrelenting advance. April will see a bunch of changes and fixes. So basically the height of Yoda and Vader's jump are going to be increased, probably to be a little bit more on par to the other heroes. The next change they're looking to make is that they are looking at adjustments for Boba Fett's jetpack gameplay to make it more interesting, but he says that will be for a future patch. So I'm assuming that's not coming anytime soon. It's just something they're looking into working on in the future. The following tweet is something that we pretty much saw coming from the tweets that the devs put out a couple of days ago, with Ben and Jay and everyone joking about blocking each other. They used gifs of Maul and Yoda doing blocks from the movies, so basically we all assumed that Yoda and Maul were getting blocks, and this is now confirmed. As Guillaume said, yes, it was pretty obvious with our tweets, but Yoda and Maul are getting lightsaber blocks. I'm not really sure how I feel about this change. I definitely don't think Maul needs a lightsaber block, and Yoda, I can see it working a little bit on him, but with presence and his ability to move around the battlefront, I definitely don't think he needs one, but then it's a matter of enough people asking for him to have one, then it's probably going to be taken taken into consideration. So I think this is what it was. There was a large portion of people that thought Yoda should have a block because obviously he's the Jedi Grandmaster, so everyone's going to want him to have that ability. I'm not a huge fan of these changes. I think Maul and Yoda's movement is enough. They both have abilities that can give them a third dash attack or a third rush essentially. If this isn't enough, I don't know what you're doing. You're probably playing the hero wrong. And finally, the last tweet that comes from Guillaume, he says, as for the health on kill star cards, I'm investigating making it a passive for all heroes. That said, it might take a bit of time to redesign the cards, implement and get approval for that change. So if you couldn't work out what that means, basically the passive nature of the star cards will be anytime you get a kill, you are going to regain health. So I think this is a good change. I think they should all be like this. I don't think it should be based around abilities. Things like Phasma's staff strikes and getting kills with Finn's Glee with his undercover ability. I don't think these are the ways you're going to go about getting a lot of kill streaks or health on kill, health regen that you want to get for those kill streaks. So I definitely think changing it to a passive ability is where you want to be for these changes. Anyways, that's all the tweets we have so far. I will keep you guys updated if anything else comes from it. I'm looking forward to some of these changes. I'm not super keen on Darth Maul and Yoda getting a block, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes nonetheless. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here now. Let me know what you think down in the comment of these changes, and we can start a discussion on what you guys think of everything. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I am the Twisted Jedi, and may the Force be with you always.
The Sith